Good morning. Please let me know if you can hear me. I have my Bluetooth in. Hopefully that's working. I am currently sitting in my sauna, trying to stay warm. Although I'm in Arizona, it is freaking cold outside. Yeah, 50 degrees is cold. So I am going to share some detox tips while we get started blasting, because we're doing a full body blast. Normally a full body blast would take me an hour plus, so we're not going to waste any time. Not sure if I should wait to start sharing some stuff until I see people hop on. Maybe we'll do that. So let's begin. Just begin by blasting. And for those that are going to hop on in the middle, you just come back to the beginning when we're done. So I'm very interested in knowing who all started with the lime water. I shared that on day 1. And any changes? Like, what have you seen? Have you seen any changes with having that warm lime water first thing in the morning? Excuse me. I'm drinking my electrolyte water. I love the Redmond's Real Salt electrolytes, and I'm drinking the Immunity this morning. I'm constantly doing things to boost my immune system, and I'll share why in more details as we blast. So when I blast, I always start with my face and work my way down to my toes. But I'm not going to do my face today. I'm just going to do the jawline. So who is drinking warm lime water and cucumber juice, or even just one? If you're only doing the warm, having the warm lime water in the morning, and you're not doing the juice yet, that is perfectly fine. But what differences are you seeing? Maybe more energy, more clarity, helps with the skin, helps with cleansing and flushing the urinary tract, helps with inflammation. Maybe day 26, maybe hopefully you're less sensitive when you blast. And for me, having the warm lime water in the morning has a lot to do with that. So another detox tip: infrared sauna, heat. We only have so many ways of detoxing our body, right? Urinary tract, the digestive, the intestines, bowel movements, and the skin, our biggest organ. We have to sweat. And so find a way to sweat. Hot bath, which that is my next detox tip, is in between my days off from blasting. And I blast, ideally I would blast every other day. But right now, if you've read my, what I posted, I'm doing the best I can do. So twice a week is about what I'm doing right now. Twice a week with fascia blasting in the sauna. I do spot treat other areas throughout the week: my stomach, my face, I carry the tools with me, and I'll work on my hands. My hands are hurting from working so much. So let's work on the fingers and hands and wrists. So, yeah, on my days off from fascia blasting, when I get time, one of the things I really love to do is a bentonite clay bath. It's a great way to detox, pulls the toxins right out of your body. I like to use the Redmond's clay, bentonite clay. That's from Redmond's Real Salt. I love their stuff. Very clean products. So I put that in a warm bath, and it doesn't dissolve right away. I'm not sure how other bentonite clays are. This is the only one that I've ever used. But it doesn't dissolve immediately, which is really nice. I'll pick up like a chunk of clay and rub it together, which is just so much fun playing in the mud. Like, I feel like a total kid playing in the mud in the bath. So I take the clay and create a paste, and I rub it on my face, my neck, whatever areas of my body that are feeling sore, like muscle soreness or tension. So I usually put it all over my neck and my traps, my hands, my arms, my forearms. And then I just sit there and let it dry, and it pulls the toxins out of my pores. It is an amazing facial. I mean, it is so good for the skin. It feels amazing. There's so many different ways you can use the bentonite clay. And my sister-in-law, and she is Amish. Most of you probably don't know, but my background is Amish. I grew up Amish for, I think I left when I was about 15. Yeah, I was on my own when I was like 15 and a half. I have quite a story from childhood to adulthood. A little dramatic, a lot of trauma. And so fascia blasting has helped a lot. Get that trauma out of the fascia. There is no lie about trauma being in the fascia. I am a living testimony to that. And I say it's better out than in. So all the detox symptoms I have experienced, I would go through it all over again, because I would rather have those symptoms out instead of in. So, yeah. Lime water, cucumber juice, bentonite clay bath, sauna, fascia blasting, and right now I'm using the face tool, okay? You can use any small claw tool. I probably should have started with that. You can use any small claw tool and just blast. This is day 26, so I'm guessing you guys all know how to blast right now. Especially blast your chest to relax. And we get fascia adhesions in there, so I love scooping away from that clavicle bone. Notice how I get a lot of, swirls. Start on one thing and then bounce to something else. Yep, that's my life. But let's see. Let's focus on the detox. So I'm gonna go back to the beginning. There's not a whole lot of people who know the real, like, some people, okay, my clients, they'll ask me, like, what got you started with fascia blasting? How did you get started with this? Well, I always, when I go, like, think about a story to, like, retract, I always think about the Golden Girls and what was her name? She would always say, oh gosh, now it's completely, if I think about it, I'll put it in the comments. She would always be like, remember when, or anyways, never mind. I can't think of it. She was always talking about Sicily. So hopefully that jogs your memory. You know what I'm talking about. Anyway, so back to before I was blasting. I was always sick, in bed a lot, which was very difficult because I had 3 little kids at the time. My kids are now 16, 11, and 9. But I had little kids at the time, and so my health problems were really a problem. And I was laying in bed and I'm scrolling through Facebook, and I come across Ashley's ad. I have no idea why her ad popped up into my Facebook, but it did. I listened to her story. I resonated with it a lot. I didn't even stop and think about it. I just clicked buy, check out, and it's not like I had the money at that time. I did not have the money, but I bought it. It's just one of those things that I just did it without thinking. I knew I had to do it. As soon as I got the tool, which back then was the original large claw, it's outside the sauna, and I started blasting very consistently. I had to do it at nighttime after the kids were in bed, so I would be up until 1, 2 o'clock in the morning fascia blasting. I did not have a sauna, so I would take a hot bath or a shower and I would blast. And I became alive. Like, it felt so good. And the pain that I had, the muscle tension, the overall body fatigue that I had from the fibromyalgia started decreasing. And I just started feeling better and better and better. I was able to function better. My mood was getting, better. I was starting to, think that there was a purpose to life besides being in pain and being sick all the time. So, so I did that for 2 years before I started exercising. And I was feeling really good with just the fascia blasting. I remember Ashley would do Sunday night lives. I would be on every live, listening to everything she had to say, learning everything I could possibly learn. And when she, said to use a sauna, I found a local tanning place that had a sauna, and I started going there. I was going there for a year using their sauna, and then I was like, all right, it's time to buy my own sauna. I've been consistent for a whole year, driving, 20 minutes away to go use the sauna 2 times a week, doing full body blasts. And so then I bought my own sauna, and I became even more consistent. And I just felt incredible. Felt so good with blasting in the sauna. It just kind of took me to that next level that I was ready for. And then I started to implement exercise. Now, I had tried exercising before fascia blasting. I went to the gym. It lasted about a month, and I was crazy sick in bed, unable to move, in way too much pain. And it wasn't because I was exercising hard. The slightest little bit of exercise would just shoot my body into like overdrive of just intense overall pain, fever, sore throat, all kinds of symptoms. I would go to the doctor. They did blood tests. Oh, you have EBV virus, which is Epstein-Barr virus. I'm like, oh, I know that. I had that when I was 15. They're like, oh, it lives in your, in your body forever. Basically, it's dormant and it can reactivate. Wonderful. That's just great. Is there a cure for it? No. You live with it. Okay. So that affects my immune system. Okay. And so it makes working out, makes fitness, it makes all things kind of difficult. Anything that would increase my blood pressure or like my stress level, anything that would increase the stress level on my body, whether it's physical, mental, anything, I would get sick. So, exercising wasn't possible. But after fascia blasting for 2 years, exercise was possible. So in 2019, when Ashley started the first New Year, New You in January, and back then it was 12 weeks. And that was another thing I struggled with, was starting something and sticking to it all the way through, because I was always scared I would get sick. And I didn't want to start something I couldn't finish, but I felt like I was ready for it, because I had already been blasting for 2 years and I was already feeling good. So I'm like, okay, I'm ready for another level. So I joined at the New Year, New You, implemented the protocols that she had at that time, the detox and the food and the fitness. So for me, I joined Orange Theory, and it worked well for me because I didn't have to figure anything out. I just went the workout and come home and fascia blast, and so it felt great. And I didn't get sick. Anytime that I would feel my immune system starting to struggle, I have supplements that I take, fascia blast and sauna, hot baths, all that, and it would be gone. I wouldn't get sick. So it was amazing to be able to finally live and be active and keep up with my kids, and not get sick. That was one of my goals for the New Year, New You in 2019, was to be able to keep up with my kids. And I wasn't able to do that very well. Not just because of the constantly getting sick, but I was 40 pounds heavier. So I remember doing sprints with my daughter at the park, and I tripped over my own feet. That was embarrassing, because I went from being very fit and active as a young kid, a teenager, to being very sick and overweight, and it was a mess. So that New Year, New You drastically changed my life, took me to another level, with implementing the components of fascia blasting consistently, eating healthy, and exercise. I dropped, I think, 25 pounds, and over the past couple of years I dropped more, so I dropped about 40 pounds overall. And fascia blasting has a huge, like, it's everything. It was the beginning. It's like the foundation of where it started. Without that, there would be no exercise, there would be no nothing, there might be no me. That's basically where I was at. So, with that said, I hope you have your upper body blasted. I do. I didn't give you a lot of details on how to blast, because I think you all know how to blast by now. Sorry. I think I shared quite a bit in my first live. I will give you tips just in case you didn't see that. I like to flex and blast. I'm not just trying to show off my biceps. They're kind of tiny. But I do like to flex and blast to kind of create, I don't know, it just like gives me a better pump, and I like to like go right in the grooves and kind of cut in the muscles. I work on some big bodybuilders. I work on everybody from, ages mid-60s down to the 20s. There's no any particular client type that I have, but the big bodybuilders I work on, their goal is to cut in the lines and clean out the fascia lines, the fascia adhesions, and to get those nice cuts in the muscles. And these tools are freaking terrific for that. Okay. We are like 23 minutes in. I really hope I am not doing this wrong because I still don't see anybody. That would really suck if I have to redo it. Okay, I'm gonna go out of the sauna and we're gonna get the rest of the body super, super quick. And I'm gonna leave my sauna door open so it can continue to heat my room. This is my workroom. So, let's see. You know what? You guys bear with me. I am going to check and see that I'm live. It says that I'm live. I'm not going to check and see. I do wish that Kelly or somebody would comment and say, yay! Okay. So, you know what? I think I want to stand up. I don't like sitting down to blast. Okay. So we have gone over the arms, the neck, the chest enough. Let's grab your favorite tool that you like to use for your back and let's target the traps, okay? That is like, oh, favorite thing to do is the traps. So let's get into the traps using this one. I love using the brush and blast base. Okay, this might not work well. Okay. So, see how I'm holding it? Straddling it right there into the scapula. My traps are super sore, as always. And my work is kind of like a little bit hunched over. And then working out too. So my traps are just really tight. I think everybody's traps are tight. Some people, you know, they are you know, there's a lot of people that their job consists of an office desk sitting on the computer. And so the traps, I find that the traps and then the delts, like right in here, gets super beyond bound for a lot of people. And it's often to do with their work, what they do for a living. So with this brush and blast base, it does not take much. You see, I'm already pink. It doesn't take much. You can straddle your spine and you're getting like right underneath one shoulder blade and under the other shoulder blade. So then I'm going to grab the bigger claw tool. This is the original. Still one of my favorite tools. Ooh, now that really, these bigger claws is definitely what I need right there in the traps. And it doesn't take much. Just several, you know, count if you want to, but just until you feel the release, and then like that's good. Depending how you hold it, you can kind of get right into that back shoulder, the back delt. Probably should use my extenders for that. Okay, so the upper body's done. And, well, I guess not. We're going to do the stomach real quick. So, and for the stomach, I love to use Ashley's oil. Just give me that little extra fat burning. So, super quick. Hopefully you have some, you know, big tools, because that makes the blasting faster. So I don't know if I left anything. So the last thing I was talking about was my first New Year, New You in 2019, and how that changed my life. Trying to think what happened next. A lot has happened, because back then there is no way you would have caught me doing a live. Yeah. For those who knew me back then and know me now, they really don't believe who they're seeing. I was very introvert, quiet, antisocial. I blame it on all the, I don't know, trauma. I don't really blame it on anything. I'm a solution finder, not an excuse maker. So for me, it's always about, how can I fix it? I'll share with you, one of the things that drastically changed my life was the detox retreat in Costa Rica. It was after that my life changed completely. Like, me as a person changed. I went from not being able to talk in like public or online to being like, you know, relatively comfortable. So, fascia blasting the stomach, contract your core, nice, like as hard as you can, and just give it a couple blasts, straight up and down, side to side. Okay, so I actually have another detox tip that I forgot to share. There's so many. I do so much. I have some people telling me, like, you do so much. Like, there's nobody that, like, most people are not going to commit to doing everything you do. Please don't. I didn't start off with doing everything all at once. I didn't start off with lime water, cucumber juice, fitness, fascia blasting, sauna, bentonite clay baths, and the next one, are you ready, is coffee enemas. I didn't start off with doing everything all at once. I implemented one thing at a time, slowly but surely, and then sometimes after, you know, a while, I was like, okay, this isn't for me, and then I would stop that and, you know, do something else. I went through a lot of different, you know, food choices. I don't like calling it a diet, because a diet means restriction, and I don't really believe in restriction. I just believe in eating healthy. So anyway, coffee enemas. I'm not going to go into the how, but I'll share with you why. So a friend of mine shared that with me, and I'm forever grateful for her sharing that with me. Let me grab the coffee that I use. I use the Pure Life Enema coffee. They have, if you want details about that, they have details on their website. You can message me, you can comment here, whatever. I have shared it with a select few people and kind of walked them through how to do it. It is detailed, it does take some time, but I have perfected it down to it being very convenient and easy, because that's basically what everything has to be in my life, otherwise I'm not doing it. So, oil up your back. Let's get the lower back. So, coffee enemas. Why? Well, a couple different reasons, but one of my favorite reasons is for the glutathione effect, purifying your blood. And if you do that, put your body into a clean state, purifying your blood, it can pretty much heal itself. Before I started the coffee enemas, my liver was not functioning very well. Now remember, I have an immune system problem that kind of attacks my body, my organs. I had to remove my gallbladder when I was like 21, not because I had gallstones, because it simply didn't work. I had a dead organ in my body and it was poisoning me, and there was absolutely no fixing it. So yeah, my immune system likes to attack the organs in my body, and it's even attacking my heart. So the tissue of my heart is slightly weakening. So I have to do everything under the sun to stay healthy, because Western medicine has absolutely no fix or cure. And I have found coffee enemas to be extremely beneficial with the EBV virus, with keeping my immune system good and healthy. It got me through COVID twice, those tremendously horrid headaches with COVID. The only thing that helped was doing a coffee enema. I mean, first of all, you know, you're eliminating all the junk in your body, but then you're also purifying the blood, cleaning out the liver, your liver being the biggest filter, or I don't know if it's the biggest filter, but it's a huge, very important filter in your body. So you want your liver to be functioning really, really well. And when we went to Costa Rica on the detox retreat, I learned how to detox the liver. And that's something I hadn't done like on another level. I was already doing the coffee enemas, but the level of the liver detox that Jared and Lau taught us was really, really awesome. So, but yeah, with the coffee enemas, I eliminate a lot of my symptoms a lot quicker, helps with my immune system. Symptoms from fascia busting, like, you know, the inflammation, and whatever toxins I stir up, you know, with the fascia, we are stimulating blood flow, creating circulation, and with that is going to come inflammation. And that's okay, that's good. But you want to then get it out as fast as possible. So, all these different things that I've shared, you know, you can pick one and do one of them, and you'll get great results. All right, I need to speed up so I don't go over time. Blasting, so as you can see, I did the neck, chest, stomach, and then I go to the calves, and I go for my legs, back up. It's just my routine. I have no like specific like reason why, like, oh, I do it because of this scientifically proven reason. Nope. I just do that. It just works for me. And I kind of address the body the same way when I'm working on people. I start with the upper body, and then when I'm done with that, I go to the lower body and work my way back up. I usually end it at the stomach. Yeah. Today I didn't though, but I usually end it at the stomach. So I think that's about it as far as detox goes, and it's kind of a lot. And somehow, you know, people ask me, how do you find the time to do all that? I don't find the time, I make the time. So that might require me to, you know, get up a couple hours earlier than what I would like to. And the boost that I get from the coffee enema, if I do that first thing in the morning, it just kind of sets me up for a really good day of feeling really good. So, like, when you're blasting, sure you know by now, you just blast until the tissue turns pink, and then that's it. I like to then either go for a big claw tool or the Pro Nugget. If I'm in a hurry, then I just go small claw to nugget. Like, that's it, small claw to nugget. If you find any fascia adhesions, you can just kind of poke and wiggle. Try to clean those out. I love this tool because it's so versatile. Like, it's not just for like the advanced fascia blasters. Like, you can use it, I'll use it on my clients who are extra sensitive by just like do like a little scribble and just like warm up the tissue, desensitize it. Because sometimes even the small claw is like too much. Like, that sensation is too much. So I'll start with the Pro Nugget and do a little scribbling. Or if they're very high intensity, if their energy level's like really high, you can take the tool and do some tapping, or do it on yourself. If you're feeling like, whew, I need to like bring the energy down, do some tapping. Tell them to do some deep breathing while they're tapping, or if you're just doing it on yourself, just inhale, exhale, let it all go. So yeah, so there's like 4 ways of using the Pro Nugget. You can tap, you can scribble, you can scrub, or hold on, that's 3 ways. Tap, scribble, scrub, oh, and then poke and wiggle. Yeah, 4 ways. So that is good. Let's do the other quad before we're gonna do the other lower part of the knee, the calf, and the quad. And then I'm gonna show you how I like to target the hamstrings. Grab your small claw tool, give it a little scrub. You really don't need to take a ton of time, unless you have the time and you want to take the time. I like to just scrub a little bit until like I no longer feel any sensation, like there's no like sensitivity at all. Sensitivity is gone. And then, where are you at, little buddy? Then the nugget. Now, if you want to do some flushing, you can grab the brush boosters and just sweep it up. That feels amazing. I love these things. Awesome. It's like the icing on the cake. So it feels so good. You can use the other sides, like go around the joints, maybe over the toes, just create a little bit of stimulation That feels really good. Right on top of the feet, ankles. Okay. Now, just grab your small claw, whatever that is, if it's the brush and glass base or the soap bar. And I think I want to use this. Okay, and then the Pro Nugget. That feels so incredible. You can create a little flex. When you do that, it just like creates blood flow. I find my tissue gets pink a lot quicker if I flex and blast, contracting the muscle. Okay. All right. Still nobody on here. All right, now we're going to target the hamstrings. Okay. So I like to kind of go into a lunge position. There's a couple ways you can do it. You go into a lunge position. Could also do it laying down. You can see this, laying down, putting your leg against the wall, and then you can create some tension. So let's do that. Let me show you how I do that. If you have a wall and access to do that, to create some tension in the hamstrings. So definitely like this brush and blast for this specific targeted spot. Now you can bring your leg up like this, probably easier at first, to just kind of desensitize it. This is kind of weird, huh? Okay, and then once you go to activate it, press against the wall until you feel your hamstring, like you feel the muscle active, you feel your glutes active. And I'm pressing into the wall while I blast. I find that this is like a good way to get results with those chunks that look like cellulite. It's actually tight fascia, trapping the fat and the muscles. So again, activating the muscle by pressing into the wall. Okay, sensitivity is gone. Now I want the Pro Nugget. Again, I'm going to press into the wall. My hamstrings are as tight as I can get them. Getting right into that glute hammy tie-in. Now you don't have to have a wall to do this. I'll show you on the other leg how you can do it in a lunge. But I just kind of like the wall because I'm laying down and the spine is nice and flat. I'm laying down, just pressing into the wall, and it feels so good. Okay, there we go. Now I'm gonna use these and quite, like I'm using a decent amount of pressure, flushing. Okay, so that feels incredible. Let's try the other way and see what that feels like. Okay, so if you were able to use a wall, see what that feels like. And now let's use the lunge position and see if we get the same results. I always have a towel handy. I go through so many towels. Okay, so the top of the leg is already done. We're targeting the hamstrings. Try to keep your spine in line when you're doing this and not like hunched over. Okay, this feels good. This might actually feel better than the wall. I mean, that feels good too. This feels good. All right, now, so have your heel and your knee in line, and then press down, like ground down. You can see muscles relaxed, flexed. Just light and brisk, creating some very quick circulation, blood flow. The back of my right in here, the knee, and into the lower, the hamstring right there is so freaking tight. So in order to get more leverage, I'm going to take one of those smaller tools. I feel I can get a little more detailed. Okay, that took care of it. I mean, see, that was like 2 seconds. So now the Pro Nugget to, whew, that feels so good. Does not take a lot, and I feel like in this area needs some poke, trigger point. Okay, yes, right there. Fascia loves to like clamp in and around the bones, and that's what it feels like it's doing right in there. Feels like it's like fascia adhesions that are super deep, and this is the perfect tool to get them out. So there we go. And now flush. Now if you want to do more work on your stomach, I do love using the Pro Nugget on my stomach to kind of carve out that gallbladder adhesion I have underneath this rib. I've dug that out all the way down to my hip bones. If you have ankle, knee pain, hip pain, check your stomach. It might be coming from your abdominal.
if you have had any abdominal surgeries, or even if you haven't had abdominal surgeries, the fascia adhesions, everything starts in the gut. You know, it just does. All the illnesses and stuff, like from my own personal experience, what I've seen with myself is just, it all starts in the gut. Fix that, whether you're fixing fascia adhesions, whether you're fixing other things, kind of starts in the gut. And I have no special supplements to say one works or this or that works, but just healthy whole foods, and you know, the lime water, the cucumber juice, coffee enemas, detox, get all that stuff out. I'm not even going to go into the other details about what coffee enemas do, but let's just say that you might see some aliens coming out. I think we're all adult enough and know about parasites, so that yeah, that's for a whole nother discussion. So I'm going to clear this up, move all this stuff off of my mat, grab the yoga ball, and show you some quick yoga stretches to go along with our blasting. I'm going to wipe down and get ready. I don't suggest doing the fascia yoga on bare skin or being oily. That's just like not a good combination to be slippery when you're trying to have stability. So we're going to move this, wipe off the oil, put on some pants, and sorry about the crazy shots you're getting. Okay, so these stretches should feel wonderful if you have your, so the first one is going to be a spinal rotation, and I'm going to take you over here and show you what the spinal rotation of the fascia of the spine, right here, spinal rotation. That's what we're doing right there. Okay, those are from Ashley. These are her beautiful fascia line. Okay. Okie dokie. So, spinal rotation. Begin seated. Okay. The ball is behind you. The legs begin straight. I don't know if you guys can. This is hard to do this on camera. Okay. There we go. Alright. So, ball right behind you. Now I'm going to bend my left leg, pull the right leg underneath, and cross this leg over. Now whatever this looks like for you, don't stress about what it looks like. You just go to like the depth that suits you. So here, ball is against me. And now, twisting the spine, I'm going to bring my hand right behind me. Take a deep breath in. Slowly exhale, and as I exhale, I'm going to grab the ball with the other hand. Now with each inhale and exhale, you can take it a little bit deeper. So let's inhale. Exhale, just a slight round until you feel that
perfect stretch in your spine. Do not overdo it. Inhale, come out of it. Exhale, round. Inhale and exhale. It is not about how deep that you go. It's about what feels right for you, your body. Maybe, maybe the cross of your legs does not look like this. Maybe your hips are too tight. You need to loosen up the fascia before you go to this depth. So if you need to keep your legs out here, that's fine. Whatever works for you. Maybe you keep one leg straight and this leg over, and then you go right in here. So that's a little bit easier on your hips. You don't have to bend this leg to still get a nice spinal rotation. So, because when I do this, I'm also getting a stretch, and I feel it in my left hip. So if you're feeling that something feels odd, it doesn't feel right, come out of it and find a different way of doing it. So again, we're going to inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale as you round. Inhale. Exhale. Each time you might find that you can go a little bit deeper. Inhale. And exhale. Also pay attention to where you're tight, because that's an area you want to blast next time. Or maybe right after you're done with this, like, you know what, I did not get that good enough, I'm gonna do it again. So always pay attention throughout your day, all your body movements, whether you're stretching, whether you're working out, whether you're just walking from A to B. Pay attention, and if you feel like, ooh, I have some tightness there, like, bring awareness to your body, listen to your body, and if you have tightness somewhere, blast it. Just blast it. Okay, so next one is the rhomboids, and I'm a very visual person, so I'm going to give you a visual of what it is right here. That's what we're going to be stretching right there. Okay. So let's see here. Bring the ball right beside you. Kind of more in front. And your knee is like here in the back of the ball. So the back ball and my knees are in line. The core, tighten the core up and in. Begin to bend over. And then you're going to place the opposite hand on the ball. And just begin to hinge at the hips. And if that's like, whoop, that's far enough, no more, I'm good, just stay right there. If you want to go a little bit further, go a little deeper, you can place this hand, right hand on top of the left, and give it a little roll. Again, listen to your body. Breathe. I like to come out of it just a little bit, as I like to move with my inhale and my exhale. So inhale and exhale, taking it a little bit deeper. Inhale and exhale. Just a little deeper again. That feels amazing. OMG. Okay, the other side. Let's take a deep breath in, recenter ourselves. Spine is nice and long, core is tight, grounding through the heels. Have your stability here. Placing the opposite hand on the ball, slowly come down. Now this side might be a little tighter than the other side. Maybe this side you're not going to go as far. Inhale, rise, exhale,
can be a little bit deeper. And maybe just sit into it and breathe. Maybe go a little bit further. Wow, those are awesome stretches. I love this peanut. It's incredible. Oh, I'm feeling so relaxed. I think I'm gonna have to have a nap after this before I go. I have an appointment at like 12:30 my time, which is Arizona time. I don't know what y'all's time is because y'all have time change and we don't do that. We're always the same time. And so I cannot keep track of everybody else's time. Okay, so this, oh, I forgot to show you the next stretch, the fascia. Where is that? Oh, if you look, I guess you can't see that far. It's right behind me. Right here. Right here. The quads. And also right here in the back, the glute hammy tie-in. So we're doing both. This is going to be a very good stretch. Very deep. You might want a chair to hold on to. That's safety number one. Don't care what it looks like, just be safe. Okay, don't push your body too far. So there we go. Then I'm going to come into a lunge. So my foot is on the ball. I'm putting the weight into it. I'm going to come into a lunge. I'm going to center myself and press down through the front heel. My front lunge leg pressing down through the heel. Tighten my core. Find my stability. And then rise up like you're coming into a crescent lunge. Breathe. I got a little pop in my hip there. That's good. Breathe. You should be feeling it right here in the glute hammy tie-in. Now maybe this is good. I don't need no more. This is good. Or maybe come out of it. Let's come out of it for a little bit. Go back into it. Now if you want to, you can add in the arm. Breathe. Exhale, slowly come out. Rolling it out. Okay, my knee is back on the mat. And here, now we're going to focus on the quad. Okay, so we're kind of doing a 2-in-1. Focus on the quad. Bring the ball in just a little bit closer. There we go. So the knee is just barely touching the mat. A little bit closer. And then, straightening out the spine. So if you stay rounded like this, not feeling too much. Start to straighten. That's good. Okay. So maybe this is it. Heck, I'm good. No more. Or you stay here and you breathe through it for a little bit and you're like, ooh, I want a little bit more quads. So then you can reach behind you on your foot. Give it a slight lean back. You can feel a little bit into the psoas. And you're like, oh, I want more. Let's do a little spinal rotation with that quad stretch. Always lengthening through the spine. Lean back a little, ever so slightly. Still feeling it in the quads. And when you come out of it real slow because you were in a spinal twist. Breathe as you come out of it. Don't hold your breath. Breathe as you come out of it. Real nice and slow. Come down to your hands. Press the ball back. Let's switch feet. Switch legs. Okay. So, same thing on the other side. Just coming to that runner's lunge. Left foot is on the ball. Find your stability. Your core is tight. Bring your hands down to the mat and slide the leg back. Maybe you come up here. Maybe you stay down here. There's no right or wrong. It's just what works best for you safely. And maybe you just hang out right here. And you roll back and forth a little bit. Keeping that leg, hamstring, glute, hammy tie, and kind of keeping it contracted as you use it for your stability. Keeping your core tight, using that for stability. Okay, coming down. Oh, yep. So when you're here, let's come back up. If you want to, you can head in the arm. Come out. Hand on the mat. And now we're going to pull the ball a little bit closer. So now we're going to focus on the quad. Woo! Tight quads here. Okay. So maybe this is it. Right here. You're good. Maybe you want to add a little rotation. And then lean back a little bit. Feeling it in your quads and your psoas just a little bit more. Adding even a little extra. Let's do the other. Rotate to the other side. This side definitely is like the maximum amount for the quad. Like this is where I feel the quad the most. Keeping your spine nice and long. And breathe. Always breathing. I don't know about y'all, but I tend to hold my breath. So I constantly have to tell myself to breathe. One of my favorite breathing techniques is the box breathing. All right, so just come out of that, however. Box breathing, or breathing with one nostril from, opening, holding the breath. So inhale, hold it at the top, exhale. So you can do that back and forth, so then you would then do the other side. Hold, exhale. So you can do that. I like that little visual of the rhythm of the inhale. Inhale, hold, exhale. Inhale, hold, exhale. But then I also, that one really relaxes me. I like to use box breathing for focus. So inhale. So imagine a box. Inhale, hold, exhale. Hold, inhale, hold, exhale. If the hold starts to create a little bit of anxiety, holding your breath can create some anxiety, don't do the hold. Just inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. That I find more relaxing. So when you do that, when you're drawing a square with your head, always go the opposite direction again. So then you're going to go the opposite direction. Inhale. Oh, actually, let's start on this corner. Inhale. Perfect. Namaste. I hope you guys learned something. If I made you super curious and you're like, want to know more about my life, go follow me on Instagram. Someday in the near future, when I'm done with school, who knows? There might be something in the future where I'll share a little bit more about my background and some of my life. For today, bye. Hope y'all have a really great day. And I went over 13 minutes, so bye.